What's up, investors? It's Mike from MJF Invest. It's my first video in a little while. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you tap that like button, subscribe for future content. We're going to go over what I've been up to, what I've learned, what I'm looking at, and where the channel, what direction the channel is headed in. Again, if you're new to the channel or new to blockchain, welcome. My name is Mike. This is MJ Invest. This was a stock channel. Predominantly focused on growth stocks and innovation, technology. For the first few months, we did really well with it. I mentioned, I used to talk a little bit about Bitcoin and blockchain technology. I remember I made a video about year and a half ago about this book I'd read, Blockchain Revolution by Don Tapscott and his son, Alex Tapscott. Really opened my eyes to the possibilities of blockchain. And it kind of made me feel like, well, if I'm an innovation investor, if I'm investing in the best technology, this is the space I wanted to be in. And I kind of made a pivot, and I scaled back on the amount of content that I was putting out because behind the scenes I've been learning, researching. I took a few courses, read a bunch of books, and learned quite a bit. This stuff is incredibly nuanced. This is not something that you learn very quickly. Just if you take something like Ethereum, for example, which is basically the base layer of, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, as well as DeFi, and they're completely different things, completely different. And each blockchain, operates, and its functionality is quite different in the way that they validate transactions. That's called the consensus mechanism. I'm going to get into content about that later on and do some deep dives into actually how these blockchains function and what exactly they are doing and what they're disrupting. It's very exciting technology, incredibly nuanced, and I've kind of just taken a little bit of a step back from making content to learn. So I have subjects, and I'm well-rounded if people ask me questions. And it's taken this long. It's taken a good solid 4 or 5 months of pretty much nonstop studying, and I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I pretty much know what's going on. I have a good understanding. I'm proud of what I've learned, and I really want to share it with you guys. This is incredible. This is incredibly early in the space. So much fun, with NFTs. There's an explosion going on right now. Every celebrity on Twitter seems to be tweeting out their new lazy lion or their new bored apes or bored bananas and whatever animal of the week. Things are flying around. It's a lot of fun. As far as myself, I do enjoy the space. But DeFi is really where my heart's at. That's really what I'm focused on because I think that's really where the money is long term. We're going to get into that in future videos so everybody can have a template to go back to. I look around on YouTube. I don't really see too much of that. People breaking this stuff down in simple terms, in layman's terms. And that's kind of what I want this channel to be. We're going to talk and tackle some complex topics. And I'm going to do my best to break it down in an easy way, an easy and digestible way. Some of the earlier work, we did a Bitcoin series. I had Will Clemente from a writer for Bitcoin Magazine, as well as, you might have seen him on the Pomp podcast quite a bit. I did a podcast with him a few months back. Very proud of that series. I think it's a great series. I also had Greg Foss on the channel. He was a 30-year bond trader, super smart guy. He just had a debate with Peter Schiff. On another guest that I had on the podcast, Peter McCormick, was also on this podcast with me. He's the popular host. He's the host of the popular podcast, What Bitcoin Did. So I'm really proud of that series. It didn't do great in terms of views, but I hope as time goes on that people go back and watch it. I'm definitely proud of it. But if you watch that series, you'll really know Bitcoin is really where my heart is. I think that's where we need to fix the money, right? We need to fix the money first. We need sound money. There's a lot of problems economically, not just in the United States, but around the world. And I believe that's the solution. And that's the most pressing issue. That's the most important. But there, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Polkadot. These are some amazing technologies. I mean, amazing. They blow my mind daily. I wake up every day excited to look to see what's going on with these projects. That's kind of passion I've developed for it. And I feel like it will be universal because I feel like every person in the world can be involved because they'll find something, because it's such a robust concept, blockchain technology. So especially if you're a new investor, you're gonna see that these communities kind of formed in the Twitter world, right? In crypto Twitter, where like the Bitcoin maxis and the Ethereum maximalists, they're kind of like, you know, oh, Bitcoin, you know, the Bitcoin maximalists kind of look like everything else is a shit coin. They call it a shit coin. And that's just a really absurd, you know, tribalistic type approach, because and Ethereum is no different, because I watch what they do to the Cardano community and so on and so forth. So it's not exclusive. This is a universal problem across the crypto world, is that lines are drawn in these tribalistic ways, and it's like teams where it's like now these Ethereum guys, oh, they say Cardano sucks and the smart contracts, this, that, blah, 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 blah. And there's just a lot of melee. So as a new investor, like coming into this space, it seems like there's like these civil wars going on. It can be awfully confusing. You know, so I feel like I wanted to have a channel where we love all the blockchains, okay? And any project that is going to make the world a better place, you know, we're going to talk about it. We're going to cover it. I'm going to be interested in it. No judgments, you know. The main thing really is the most fundamental difference that I could tell is Bitcoin is sound money, right? And Ethereum is disrupting software, computer software. I mean, across every industry. There's not an industry that won't be different. For the main reason that it's most of this stuff is on the back end, if that makes sense. Because what blockchains are, they're a database. That's really it. It's a way to store information differently. But because of the way they come to a consensus in like a decentralized way, it's just better. It's way better. There's no single point of failure. There's no central location for attacks or hacks or, you know, problems. It just opens up a lot of opportunity, a lot of flexibility across the board. So I don't view a lot of these blockchains as competition to each other, because they couldn't possibly, like one blockchain couldn't possibly handle everything, right? Because just the world's so big, so many sectors, and the opportunities that this is creating is unlocking money and liquidity in parts of the world that normally, you know, what we would call right now is underdeveloped. This technology will help bring that. So there will be plenty of money and resource to spread around. There will be no shortage of layer one blockchains that are going to succeed. It's just a matter of execution. And that's why I just don't like that whole tribalistic thing. So that's not going to be here. I'm a fan of a lot of different blockchains. Jeter, I understand that Ethereum changes networking, but has done it. But does it have a dollar value, and why does it get more expensive? Okay, that's a great question. Okay, so Ethereum, if you know, is just it's a database. Okay, it's where the information is stored, and the ability that they have to transact or verify transactions, basically is just the network's growing so fast, and so many people, and it's so congested that it's clogging up the network, and basically you're paying high gas fees because you've got to front run the miners, right? Because it's so congested. But that just goes to show how early we are, right? I planned on getting into some of the solutions that are coming, layer 2 solutions, as well as ETH 2.0 with sharding. There's another chain that's in the title called Polkadot that I'm very excited about. But it is incredibly early in this space. Hey Maya, hi, how you doing? Thank you for watching. Everybody, make sure you guys tap that like button. I'd really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Maya, I was just talking and saying, you know, I took a little bit of a break from making content because I was learning this stuff is incredibly nuanced, blockchain and cryptocurrencies. It's very nuanced. it took a while for me to learn and figure out, and feel good enough to stand in front of a camera and be able to answer questions from an audience. So I stopped making content for a minute and, slowed. I've been active on Twitter and, I've still been trading and everything, but I've been learning and I've learned quite a bit and I'm very excited, man. I mean, I'm waking up every day so excited about this stuff and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. And I mean, we're just so early. And there was a question that somebody had asked, and let me pop it up actually on the screen so everybody could see it. Jeter, it's a Jeter, I guess. I understand that Ethereum changes networking, but how does it have a dollar value and why does it get more expensive? The market, I don't know if you're talking about the gas fees or the actual asset itself, but if you're talking about the asset itself, it's like anything else, it's what somebody else is willing to pay for it on the open market, and it goes through price discovery. But what's happening now is there was a proposal, EIP 1559, which is an Ethereum improvement proposal, 1559. One of the main features of that is a 25% fee burn. So 25% of each transaction fee is being burned now, which with volume, if you do the math on that, if you start looking at some of the numbers on Ethereum and what the mainnet does, you'll see very quickly that just this past week, Ethereum had a day of negative supply. So, it's not realistic to expect it over a long period of time, but the supply is being restricted while the demand is going up. So this is like a blow off top. Like this is going to go crazy. Not financial advice. Do all your own research. This is total speculation. You got to do your own research and decide with your own money what you're going to do. But the way I would read something like that is if you just look with DeFi, with NFTs, the way it's going, you go to Twitter, everybody's Reese Witherspoon, like what? Des Bryant, you're talking about Hollywood actors, athletes, musicians, everybody's flooding in while they're creating scarcity by burning tokens. Like I said, so there was a couple, I think 1 or 2 days last week, it was deflationary where the supply was negative, which that's great for price pressure. I don't know if it's a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event because ETH 2.0 is around the corner. One thing I want everybody to really understand though, and I stand by Bitcoin, like totally. Bitcoin is a stable, sound investment. Okay, I believe. And the reason I would say that Ethereum is still a little speculative, it would be, and this is no knock, I love ETH, and I think it's great for users, but I mean for institutional adoption or mainstream adoption, software is gonna, there's bugs that are gonna come, and they're launching ETH 2.0. There's gonna be problems. Now it's just a matter of they'll fix them, as they go, but they're on such a big stage that could, cause a little bit of a period where it gets rocky, but overall very excited. Sean sneaking in your stream. Oh, thanks, Sean. Thank you very much, man. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you watch later too. Couple other things I wanted to talk. There was so much I wanted to talk about on this stream. Let's see, the next thing I wanted to go into Ethereum. So we'll just keep going with Ethereum. And then, so when 2.0 comes, some of the, they're moving to a proof of stake consensus. Bitcoin's a proof of work. I don't if people understand, proof of work is, they're basically mining new tokens using energy. They're making that exchange, electricity, to mint new tokens. Well, what Ethereum is doing now is they're moving to a proof of stake consensus where people are locking up their coins. Their coins actually transact, or they delegate their coins to a node validator, and then around that period when ETH 2.0 launches, some of those coins can be released. So I expect like a crazy price rise up, and then possibly a little bit more, down to reality. And then overall, Ethereum is king. Should be the best, the biggest, most robust layer one ecosystem available. when it's all said and done, even network effects and being first to market leader, all those things, they apply. Just look as gas fees continue to rise, Ethereum is just every day they're growing and growing and growing in terms of users. So that's a really positive sign. But one thing, now we're talking about gas fees. I thought that this was very interesting and very important and relevant. Get rid of that. How do I hide that? Okay. Let me see here. We're going to go. I want to share my screen. I want to bring something up for you guys right here. Okay. And let's see right here. Coinbase team plans to integrate Polygon, which is a proof of stake chain, as their first scaling solution. So the gas fees are obviously making it difficult for businesses to transact on the Ethereum blockchain. This is the first time we're seeing a big company integrate a layer 2 solution. I think it's great. Make it cheaper for people to transact, which will only help Ethereum in the long run. Very bullish on Matic. What's there not to like? I mean, they basically have the ability to really lower transaction fees by doing they basically have the Ethereum ecosystem. They could transact off chain through plasma chains and zero knowledge roll-up chains. There's all these different techniques that they use to kind of, you're giving up decentralization, but you're getting cheap transaction fees, but you're still getting the decentralization on Ethereum, which is very exciting. So I'm extremely bullish on Matic. We called this one out a few months ago, like 28 cents on the channel. Go check those videos out. I'm expecting it. It's sitting at about 168 right now. I'm anticipating it to start to run again. I'm expecting a pretty big run pretty soon. All layer 2s, Loop Ring, which is LRC, is another one to look into. Sorry, excuse me. As well as Arbitrum just launched this week, which we can actually get to. Let me get back to that. Stream. Boom, boom, boom. Check this one out. This week in Ethereum news, Arbitrum launched, which is a layer 2. Those numbers look really good. Check those out. We talked about the Ethereum negative issuance, as well as Metamask now has 10 million monthly active users, which is extremely bullish considering just recently it was 5 million. It seems like it was like last month. So Metamask is growing, Ethereum is growing, NFTs are going crazy. NFTs and crypto. Maya asked if I thought about starting a newsletter about NFTs and crypto. Yes, I have. We'll see though, how it goes. I'm gonna focus on getting back, doing content. I mean, these things are a lot of work, and just keeping up with the space and learning the space takes up a lot of time. Like I was shocked at how many hours I've had to put in just to learn the nuances of DeFi, of NFTs, of these different blockchains. So I don't know about a newsletter, but I'm definitely be making more content. Hopefully I could get like 3-4 streams out a week to, news, updates, what trades I'm making, that kind of stuff. I did want to talk about 2 things though, before I wrap this up. Cause I want it to go about 30 minutes. Trading, I don't want to necessarily encourage too much trading, especially in the crypto area. Again, because to circle back to, the big theme throughout this video has been transaction fees. You could get beat over the head with transaction fees. So you really got to know what you're getting into, and you got to want to hold it at least for a little while. So I don't want to advise too much trading in and out. Same philosophy though as stocks. It's all about the research. It's all about due diligence and preparation. But in my opinion, there's $2.3 trillion in the crypto ecosystem today. I mean, that should be well over $10 trillion in the next 5 years. So if you play your cards right, I mean, there should be a lot of money to be made. And that will be through due diligence. Again, not financial advice, but a lot of money to be made. And a quick shout out to, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at MJF_invest. I talk about my trades quite a bit there, my micro cap trades, something I would never make a video about, but sometimes I like looking for little micro caps. I hit a couple of them, got really lucky, and when you find some of that, I found a micro cap with a $1 million valuation, shot up to 50 million, which is still relatively a small project. I was already up 50x, and how many 50x trades do you make in stocks? You know what I mean? You don't. It's like once in a lifetime, and I've had multiple 10x trades and a 50x trade in a year, so this is a very exciting space. Don't get me wrong, it's very volatile. You got to be careful. You can lose all of your money for sure, but it's if I'm trying to build wealth, right, and I'm trying to get ahead and make money, I'm not trying to protect money. If I was trying to protect money, I'd probably be in stocks, but I'm trying to make money. It's pretty much a no-brainer. And with due diligence and learning, because it's not always necessarily a gamble as well. You don't always have to depend on appreciating assets in this space. DeFi is such a powerful tool and so amazing to give average people, kids a lot of the time, right? I mean, a lot of young people are involved in this. The ability to create compounding interest at a young age is so powerful. I mean, I've seen it alone just with my portfolio, and I don't even have, that much in terms of some other people. If you look, I mean, there's a lot of money in this space. You could stake your Polkadot. Like I staked my Polkadot a couple of weeks ago. I got my first payout. My payout was 3.6 DOT. I bought my Polkadot for $14 or $13. It's $35, $36 now. So on the appreciation of the asset itself, on the initial investment, I'm up 3.5x, or 3x, right? Plus the interest, which is also being reinvested. So now I have more DOT tokens, and they cost more, right? And I'm just saying, if you've got to project that over a long period of time, and that's what DeFi is, right? It's amazing. It really is. It's empowering. We're going to get into all that. I'm going to make videos about staking, rewards, liquidity pools, how these markets and why these tokens are bonded, right? They're bonded by their liquidity. A lot of these trades, especially on DEXs, and this is another reason it's so revolutionary, I believe, and why I get so excited about it, is they're not trading with an order book, right? So there's not a buyer seller. It doesn't have to be a buyer and a seller. It's not peer-to-peer. It's peer-to-contract. So you're trading in and out of pools. So in that way, you almost never, in the perfect world, once all the liquidity is there, and once this is fully developed, you're never stuck in a trade, right? Because you're never trading with a person. You're trading with a contract based on liquidity providers who are earning rewards for adding their liquidity, so people can do that. So this is an incredibly powerful space and so exciting. I hope that doesn't sound like a foreign language, because I kind of wanted to keep this simple in the beginning. A couple other things I wanted to discuss and just put on your radar. Let me see here. Look at here. Kusama. Polkadot. Now, Polkadot is a very exciting project, right? Let's see. Polkadot parachain launch is expected to begin once two things have happened. A full external audit is completed and the Kusama network executes at least one successful auction involving crowd loans and hosting at least one functional parachain. Okay, so once basically Polkadot said they can launch once they get the external audit is completed, which I'm pretty sure should be done pretty soon. I don't know if they're going to go with like CertTech or one of the other, external auditors. But that's, fairly not a big deal. But what's really a big deal is this part here is that Kusama executes at least one successful auction involving crowd loans and hosting at least one functional parachain, because just this week we got Kusama's first batch of parachains in the interview with their teams. This is Moon River. This is Kala. This is Shiden Network. This one is Kaora, and this one here is Bitfrost. That's the first parachains in the Kusama ecosystem. So if they get one chain functional, Polkadot is ready to launch, and that is incredibly exciting because let me tell you, let me explain to you why. We talk about blockchains and general purpose blockchains. They don't communicate. Just basically, you take Bitcoin, you take Ethereum, they don't communicate, right? Nice to see you back, Nick. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. If you guys just got into the video, please make sure you tap that like button. I'd like to try to get this content out to as many people. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're just talking about the Kusama. They launched their parachains. So we're waiting for one functional parachain for the Polkadot launch, plus an external audit, which I don't think is really a big deal. Extremely excited. Why am I so excited? Because, like I was saying, Bitcoin and Ethereum don't communicate, right? Most of the blockchains, they don't interact. You got to wrap your Bitcoin to get it on Ethereum, and got to wrap it through a protocol and put it on a bridge. It's like a lot of nonsense that with a risk as well. Anytime you're using a bridge in crypto, it's a risk. That's where the hackers can get you. So it's kind of whatever. When Polkadot launches, it's a heterogeneous chain, fully flexible, because it's built with a programming language called Substrate that basically allows these things to interoperate, which is incredibly fascinating and exciting. It's not necessarily a Ethereum competition. It enhances Ethereum. It enhances its abilities, and that makes me extremely bullish on the project. I'm going to make a specific video on these two networks and how they're kind of interconnected. They're very exciting projects. And they make me incredibly excited about the entire crypto space. A couple of projects I'm also excited about. Check them out on Polkadot is Akala, which kind of brings DeFi to Polkadot. Phala, the Phala network, that's Phala, as well as the Sora network. I love that network. And the DEX they use called Polkaswap. It's a cross-chain liquidity, DeFi aggregator. It's basically like a cross-chain 1 inch, which is incredibly exciting. And, we're going to get into all that. I'm going to be making more content, breaking this stuff down. So if you want to learn, if you're new to the channel, make sure you tap that like button. Get ready for the DOT and Matic rise. I'm very bullish and excited. If you're still watching, thank you so much. Really appreciate the support. Again, if you're new, tap that like button, subscribe for future content. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. That's where I do most of my picks and calls. I'm very excited about the future. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.